All team, give it everything you got.
It's time to fangirl flail with Fangirls Going Rogue.
Count me in. I don't think there's anything more important in the Star Wars universe than the fans.
News, discussion, and commentary from the female point of view.
You call this a diplomatic solution?
No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
With your hosts, Teresa Delgado, Tricia Barr, and Sarah Woloski.
Boy, am I glad to hear your voice.
Strap in, because this is where the fun begins.
I like the sound of that.
Welcome, Yub Cubs, to episode 50 of Fangirls Going Rogue. I'm Teresa Delgado, one of your hosts, and with me are my two awesome fangirl co-hosts, Tricia Barr from Fangirl Blog. What's up?
Oh my God, we're here. We're doing it. We're recording together.
And in person, it's
I know.
Weird.
We're usually opposite sides of the country doing time zones. No problem.
Yep. And we also have, of course, Sarah Woloski from Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hi, everyone. Yay. This is so exciting being in the same room. I love it. And we're like 23 floors up in Seattle. It's beautiful.
And I will say we are definitely more made up than we would normally be, because we'd normally be in like what pajamas, no makeup, hair up in a ponytail, all that
Staring
stuff.
at our computer screens.
Exactly. So we are podcasting from Seattle. We are at Geek Girl Con, and we've had such a great time. We have more of the con today, but we wanted to do our show live for you guys for episode 50. And we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about our history. So, Tricia, why don't you start with,
we're going to be 4 years old next year. So our first episode next month. That's how long it's been. And that's how old I am. I am almost 50 as well. So, but episode 1 was November 13th, 2013. So we were just getting into the Disney news and hope. Right. And we had already talked, we had done the Rebels Europe coverage, and remember a Kathleen Kennedy video, and that was so watched on YouTube, and we're like, let's just keep on doing this.
Yeah.
So then Sarah joined us at episode 15. She'd been on episode 14, and that was in January of 2015. We're like, that was so much fun. Let's keep doing it. Aww. So we're still doing it, and we're at episode 50, and that is a milestone. Once a month, and sometimes a little more. We have You Talk, We Listen as well, and several priority transmissions in between there.
We do have one of our group that's missing. Sandra Shute, she isn't here with us. She's running our social media for us and stuff right now, but she officially joined us back at Celebration Anaheim.
Yes.
And so she's been a part of the team now for what, almost 2 years?
15, 16, 17. Yeah,
almost
2 years.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about Sandra.
Yes.
Because she made us cry here at Geek Girl Con.
She did.
We got to screen the footage for Looking for Leia at their panel yesterday. And Sandra, there is no better representative for what Star Wars can do for somebody and elevate them up. And and she elevates everybody up because, she's keeping everybody happy. But Annalise, why don't you come on and we'll talk a little Star Wars?
Yeah, we have a super special guest. So Annalise Ophelian, actually from Looking for Leia, is here with us right now. So we're gonna squish in here.
It's gonna get real comfy.
I'm gonna get super small.
I'm gonna fix my hair in your camera.
Sounds good. Because that's how girls do stuff.
Beautiful purple hair.
Beautiful purple hair.
Yes, thank you very much.
We wanted Annalise, we're going to talk about Looking for Leia, but we want to talk a couple things because you are a director and a film person. Rian Johnson tweeted an Instagram that he wrapped episode 8. Is that crazy, like that early?
It is so crazy.
I'm thinking I got to ask Annalise because this is he's done.
I saw that and I was like, hashtag professional life goals. Like,
right?
Really, it's such as a filmmaker, I look at that and I'm just like, wow, I can't begin to imagine how tight that set and that production was. For a feature that has that kind of location shooting, the degree of practical effects they're using, and the amount of visual effects they're doing, and the amount of time that they used to execute it in. And this is not to say that when productions go over, when there are reshoots, when, I think edits were being made on The Force Awakens like the first week of December, right? And that happens. And there's so many things to do.
Bad.
It isn't at all. Like, you do it until it's right. And it doesn't matter how that happens. Just make sure it ends up right.
But he feels like it's right.
But yeah, I'm looking at that going like that. There's some efficiency in production there that I'm fangirling over as a filmmaker.
Do you know when he did that? So that was like mid-September?
Yeah.
Wow. And the movie doesn't come out, of course, till December.
I know, right?
So I was like, no.
The only thing my only comparison is like on the Bake Off or on Project Runway when like there's the one person who finishes and is like, well, I'm just gonna have some tea and file my nails while everybody else is like sweating into their ovens. That's what it seems like. I just like to imagine Ryan sitting back with like tea and a biscuit.
He's probably having a drink because now he's got to think for a couple months about how it's going to go.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he's also sitting there watching everybody buy his porgs, and he's like, I'm done.
Yeah. My work here is done.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Completely done.
And can we say they're his porgs? He's
They're
created
his
those
porgs,
porgs, right?
They're his porgs.
It's amazing.
Oh.
They're his porgs.
Amazing.
We also
right.
we also got J.J. Abrams announced for episode 9, and it's not that unusual to have directors come in and out of movies. We just seem to be more aware of it as.
I think there's also, it's easy, as a director, I'm going to say, it's easy to overestimate the role of a director. So I can speak this because I'm speaking from within my
that's
field.
why we want to talk to you.
A director is directors and producers are incredibly important showrunners. We helm things. We have an incredible task of basically being a coordinator for a huge team of people. The team of people makes the movie. And it is sort of egotistical and silly to think that a director makes a movie because the number of human beings putting not just like emotional labor, but like physical labor into creating film is massive, particularly on these big tentpole projects. Yeah. So you want a good helmsman. You want that captain of the ship to really be a person who keeps morale up, who works very well. And then, of course, on the Star Wars movies, these are movies that are happening from within one of the most significant and, again, massive is the only word I can use, production studios in, sort of modern cinema history. So you don't have an apparatus that is for the India tour who's just going to like do their own thing with their own money. You have a story group that's being incredibly, I'm going to click on it. You have a story group that's tasked with keeping 40 years worth of material together. You have so many moving parts. So yeah, if a part of the team doesn't work, you fix it. And you fix it at whatever stage you need to make sure that your outcome
3
is
weeks
good.
out, whatever you need to do.
I have no doubt that was a horrible decision for everyone who had to make it. But also, like, yeah, great, fix it. Do the thing you need to do.
Right,
exactly.
Wow.
So, I mean, as far as J.J. Abrams coming back onto the project, I mean, I know we all have different opinions about it. I'll just kind of start with mine. I was actually thinking about that when they got the news that Colin Trevorrow, that's what I call him because I don't know what the heck his last name actually is, was removed. I was relieved about that. And then I was thinking, okay, so who are we going to get? Like, where is this going to go? And part of me said, well, The Force Awakens was amazing. I really, really loved it. If JJ came back, I think it'd be a really great end cap because he can finish Rey's story, which he started. But then I started thinking, well, what if it's Rian Johnson? Because we've heard a lot of good stuff, but again, we haven't seen episode 8 yet. And so I think Rian Johnson's going to be really integral on episode 9 and getting the script done and working with JJ, because it seems like they're very collaborative people. But I'm so okay with it. And I know Tricia, you were really hoping that we'd have a female director.
Or a writer, to have a sequel trilogy be about a female character. And Leia was supposed to be so integral to 9, and whether she is or isn't, we don't know. But we haven't had anything but white men tell this story, and it at some point it needs to happen. You just have to make it happen. And I felt like, well, maybe they'll make it happen this time. And there's a lot of playing safe and not wanting to risk things. So there is some disappointment in my heart, and I actually talk at great length with my Fangirl blog team on Hyperspace Theories that we just put up today. So you can really get into kind of the meat of why Trevorrow went, the reasons, they've been talking to the trades about why the decision was made. And what I hope, J.J. Abrams is not known for finishing anything. He even admits that he likes to start things. He doesn't necessarily finish things. So this will be his challenge of his spirit to find that in him.
Well, hopefully, I know, yes, white males may be writing and directing, but hopefully they are influenced by the women in their lives. Like, look at Dave Filoni, who is heavily influenced by his wife in a lot of things he does. And thank goodness for that. I mean, Star Wars Rebels and the Clone Wars both feature, strong female characters that are amazing and that we have all fallen in love with.
Yeah, and J.J. Abrams has written many great female characters over the years. So, I'm excited, but it's not excited if it could have been somebody else. So it's, but you just have to know that they're on a tight timeline and they're doing what they're going to do.
How do you feel about J.J. coming back into the film?
I mean, I think it's a logical choice. I think that they were doing something admirable in trying to bring new talent in. And also I think I can't imagine the feeling after two of those directors really not working out, and not working out for things that sound like very similar reasons. And I want to just call it that it also feels like there's a lot of struggle there around what happens when there's a woman at the head of the most most powerful production company in the world. And that, as a woman who makes films, I can tell you that the disrespect and dismissal of women's expertise in film is pervasive. And so finding folks who are going to work well under that helm is a challenge. And that seems ridiculous because I feel like people should be lining up a block to work for Kathleen Kennedy. But I think also there's a thing around who's going to work well in that setting. Yeah. So they're going to go with the known quantity. They're going to go with the person they know they work well with. I also know that JJ's talked about liking to start, not finish projects. But then I like to think that there's so much support from the production company, right? Because he's got all of Lucasfilm there and the story group.
I think
and
they do have ideas.
Yeah.
They have ideas. So and it's not like he has to create everybody like he did last time. So he can spend more time on the story.
Yeah. A lot of world building has been done. I think he did a beautiful piece of world building on that first one, especially for those of us who grew up with the originals and were so happy to see things through. I'm looking forward to the moment where we can press past exceptionalism and into this sort of genuine showing up throughout production roles in film for women and for women of color and for folks that are not white cis het men, right? This is to say most people, right? Let's just break it down on a numbers level, that this tiny group of people has been so overwhelmingly predominant in all show running. And so Patty Jenkins and Eva DuVernay end up getting everything heaped upon them because they are the only directors that folks can name, and also because they then have to be the exemplary, examples of their stuff. And I want there to be enough women making film. I want there to be enough folks living at intersections of identities. So every possible permutation that we can be mediocre and mess up. And work again.
Exactly.
When we can do that, then we will have reached something.
Well, we can make an After Earth and get to write Rogue One.
Exactly.
That people don't talk about that, right? Or even there's just so many times where you look at people, well, they made a dud. I mean, Star Trek Into Darkness was a dud, but it doesn't get held against J.J. Abrams.
I don't want to have to be a risk. I don't want to have to be something that someone...
Or all the weight of every person of color or woman is on your shoulder. What happens, and if you don't make the right choice. If that gets to you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you don't make the right choice once, that's a huge tick against you. Depending on who you are.
And even when folks are successful, I think what happens then is the franchises get handed to someone else. Like Catherine Hardwicke created arguably one of the most successful, kicked off one of the most successful franchises in YA film history. She arguably started for Twilight, right? Okay. She arguably started the genre of these YA books being adapted into films that were massively successful, and then they gave the rest of the franchise
and then
to
she
men.
Couldn't get a gig.
And she couldn't work again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and we actually got a comment because we are doing this live on Facebook and YouTube. Scott Murray actually wanted to know from us, does it worry you that they seem to be allowing the directors and writers to make it up as they go?
I don't believe that is happening for a minute.
I really don't. I really, really don't.
Again, story group, right? They have a whole team.
I think there's a plan.
There's a holocron.
Yeah.
We know this. Right?
I think there's a plan at least.
I mean, we have a Leland Shee who's actually watching, and so I don't think they're making it up as they go. I think maybe the script is being adjusted, but the framework of what we're putting where, that's done. Just a matter of how we're doing
how you get there.
How you get to that.
How you get there.
Well, and let's reframe this. Making it up as you go in science fiction is called world building.
Yeah.
And it's actually a really critical part of story creation. So yeah, I would hope that they are hiring folks that are going to be contributing to the world building, because that's what we've all signed up for. And you know, what's fascinating about Star Wars is that up until recently, we had 40 years of world building that was overwhelmingly done by fans.
Yep.
Yes.
And so, of course, we're bristling now that a studio's taking it on, not because the world building is necessarily better or worse, but just because there are more cooks in the kitchen now.
Yes.
There's more people doing world building, and our headcanon doesn't have the production budget that the studio actually
That's
does.
right. No, you could do that in your mind, but we can't do it in the film, because it would just cost too much money. That's what screenwriters have to do, right? Make sure that it's doable.
Well, one of the most exciting things right now about Star Wars is the fact that most of the people working on Star Wars right now are fans, and like whether they be voice actors, whether they be part of the creative team, whether there's the directors, like they all grew up being Star Wars fans, and so it's a very important, like they know the importance of it.
I think that's a natural segue to talking about one of the biggest fan boys who's bringing their show to a conclusion.
Yeah?
Oh, geez. Yes, so Star Wars Rebels premieres in a couple weeks on October 16th. And we're going to talk about that just in a second. But we have a little voice message from somebody that is very near and dear to our hearts, Vanessa Marshall.
Hey, this is Vanessa Marshall. I play Hera Syndulla on Star Wars Rebels, and I just want to say congratulations to you girls on your 50th epiversary. Fangirl flail! And I look forward to talking to you again soon after Star Wars Rebels premieres October 16th. May the Force be with you always.
You guys can interpret what you want from what she said there, but it
sounds like there's going to be more to come on our show.
There might be some stuff coming up in October that everybody wants to hear that we're very excited about.
I'm so excited. You know, I mean, you got to cosplay. You get to cosplay with you were green or blue or?
I was green. So Zena Duncan from the UK is a professional costumier and one of the participants in Looking for Leia. As a part of the film, right? It's for science and filmmaking, not just for my own personal gratification. I've never done full cosplay, and I'm talking to all these cosplayers and like the intersection between cosplay and identity and what it's like to do it. So she's created one of her spectacular kind of screen ready Heras, and I got to put on the lacquer and do the paint. And she was doing Numa. She just finished building her Numa.
How do you feel when you put it all on?
You know, when I'm by myself, it just is transformative and amazing, and I love it. And the being green is great. Like I practice the makeup in my house because I'll have these days where I'm just like, I cannot log footage any longer. I'm going to paint myself green. But then when I put the leku on and I have the costume on, the leku, interestingly, are a kind of sensory deprivation. And Zena was telling stories of how folks at cons like to like pull you by the leku or grab you. And I did immediately feel more vulnerable in that way that I was like, right, I now feel much more available for folks to just sort of, grab like they would a toy on the shelf. And they impede your movement a little bit because you have these like head tentacles, like,
Yes.
And they have their latex and they've got kind of moving stuffing in them. And so it's great and also kind of vulnerable. And I'm interested, to wear it out for the first time,
awesome.
like in a big public place.
What's great about Jedi Tink is the wings honestly impede people touching you.
That's the hope. But do they touch the wings? Do folks ever grab your wings?
No. I think they know it's like fragile. But like if they try to like awkwardly put their arm around your waist or something, it's like, oh, there's wings there.
Deny.
Yes.
I am excited about both pants and pockets.
Yeah.
I think what I love about Star Wars cosplay are the infinite number of opportunities to cosplay in pants and flats.
Yes.
Well, and Hera was much appreciated because if you were going to have that, you had Twi'lek, you had to wear the little skimpy outfit. Right. This is a different, you get to be the pilot. Obviously, she's the woman in charge. I don't care what anybody says. It's her
Best
show.
Pilot in the galaxy.
Yes.
Sorry, Poe.
She's also a great character to be able to Disney bound because she's so color blocked that it's easy to do. I actually just got a beanie that I can use, so I'm like, I need to put it together.
You need to come to Mickey's Halloween party.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then what else is today?
Today it's October 1st, right? So October 1st.
First day of Halloween.
Where's she?
No.
No. Well, not for the rest of the world, yes. But October 1st, we are getting the next wave of Forces of Destiny. Woo! Look at her! Yay, we're so excited. So I guess there will be airing a 30-minute special so that we can watch it together, and we will film our live reactions to that. So
yeah, I'm really excited. And what's interesting, I just saw today, Ashley Eckstein is actually at Disney World at Magic Kingdom, and she's taken over the at Oh My Disney Instagram. You guys need to go take a look. She's taken it over in her Ahsoka Forces of Destiny shirt that she released, and to celebrate Forces of Destiny. So she's actually doing stuff for it. And I did see a tweet from Tracy Canobio as we were starting up today that Maz Kanata is in what we're going to be looking at today.
So excited.
So great.
Oh my gosh,
Maz.
guys. So
Yeah,
yay.
everybody yay.
I hope Han is in it too, but we'll see.
Well, we know we will get two older Han and a younger Han. That we're going to get 4 new episodes, and then again at the end of the month, another 4. Mm-hmm. And then I think a lot of Star Wars things are coming. I don't know if Mark Hamill, he deleted that tweet that said we should be watching something Monday Night Football on October 9th. So, this may be a big week to have reactions. So we're really excited.
So podcasters, gear up.
Yeah, get your mics ready. Get your mics ready.
Exactly. All right. So Leia's excited. Woo!
She's super, super excited.
So let's listen to another voicemail from a listener.
Fangirls Going Rogue. This is Michael McLean, and congratulations on your 50th episode. Teresa, Tricia, Sarah, and Sandra, you all have done an amazing job in this collaborative effort, this podcast, as well as the fan community you have built. Each one of you bring your certain point of view, and the conversations you all have with each other, as well as your guests, is always fluid, professional, and very fun to listen to. Whether it's Star Wars, Disney, and everything in between, I enjoy hearing your opinions and general thoughts about what's going on in the fandom universe. Not only have you all given a voice to the fangirl, but I feel like this product is some of the best conversation about fandom put out by anyone. So enjoy this landmark episode and all the adulation that you will receive from your listeners, as it is well deserved. Have a great weekend. See you all soon, and may the Force be with you.
Well, thank you, Michael, so much, and we're so flattered by what you said. So with that, I think we should get into our main discussion.
Yeah, so again, we are at Geek Girl Con. That's kind of like why we're all here. And so, Annalise, we kind of wanted to know for you, how has the con been, and what has been one of your favorite moments so far?
We've really loved filming at this con. So we filmed at Celebration in April. We filmed at D23, and we filmed here. Conventions are tricky to actually go in and film, and we are a pretty tight crew, right? We're scrappy, right? So really large cons can be especially difficult. And one of the things I love about Geek Girl Con, first of all, their mission is exquisite. And if you've not had the chance to read the Geek Girl Con mission, it's on their website, and it makes you feel like you've just had kind of really nice affirmative therapy to read it, right? Where you're just this is my place. In the same way that I love going to Celebration because it's a Star Wars specific convention and I want to go to all the things. I love being at Geek Girl Con because it is a geek space that centers women's experiences, and it centers women's experiences in this very appropriate, intersectional, and excellent way. It is super understanding that when we say women, we're not talking just about sort of cis-het white women between 18 and 24 who are able-bodied. We're talking about women, and that includes all kinds of women. And I feel that in this con and in the presentations and the panel topics, none of which I've been able to go to because we're filming. And when you film, I'm so excited to come back next year. So I just love being here and seeing the huge spectrum of ages and interests And then we did a panel yesterday and we premiered some new footage. And everybody cried, but it was like happy crying. And that made me feel good because I've been on my own with my team with this footage since April, just going over it and going over it. And we cry all the time, but it's often equal parts genuine emotion and like nervous exhaustion because this process is a very arduous one. So it was nice to see that people are emotionally resonating.
Well, you had Jamala Henderson. A lot of the people that I know, Henderson, who's going to be on the Star Wars panel this afternoon, who is a wonderful person. And you had Maggie Makaska, who I interviewed for Star Wars Insider. You guys might remember that article about fangirls being around all along. And she's just an enormous resource of talking about, yes, they've been there all along. And then obviously Sandra was on there. And, we know her story that, what Star Wars has made a difference for her. And Jonah, your co-host from Galactica. Her mom is so cute in that footage. Is she not the most adorable?
Getting to watch, and so a lot of these are folks too that I came in contact with or found in research online. So I heard Rebels chat before ever getting to meet folks in person. Then I was able to meet Jonah Marie at Celebration, but then getting to actually film her and Maria, her mother, doing the podcast was really special. And they've actually aired the podcast to be filmed. So you can hear this like amazing sort of pop quiz that Jonah Marie gave her mother around Rebels. But also these questions were hard. Like they were amazing and they were subjective as well. They were like, who would you choose or what would your favorite be? But it showed also such a mutual love for material and the way they've come together to spend time celebrating and enjoying their love of Rebels, the animated series, was super special.
Well, and one of the special parts I really liked about the footage that we saw is Sky Talkers are on there. And recently they've kind of encountered some not so awesome stuff on social media. And I know I have, I think you have also, we have joined together as a women's community of fangirls to lift them up and to shut down what people were doing that was negative. And I love that they talk about being labeled as like the prequel show because they are young. They're younger than me.
They're like 10 years younger. I think they're in their mid-20s.
Yeah, they're in their mid-20s. So they're about 10 years younger than me and you. And it's like, I don't want that happening to them because like, for me, they're like my babies. They're like my children. Like, come on,
It's so important for every age group to get their voice and to have a means to talk about it because otherwise they won't recognize if one group talks about it, you don't get to see what all the other important things, that Padme and handmaidens mean something to people. So you have to have, we're all different levels and we like different things. But it's important to talk about that. And, you
learn from each other that way.
Yes.
And you learn to appreciate things.
Yes. Well, and from that, also that little screening, we got to see it before. And I know from Teresa, and I knew there was one thing that was going to freak her out. So it was the My Little Pony Jedi.
Yes. And I tweeted you and I was like, Pony Jedi, oh my gosh. And we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but yes, that was one of the coolest ever things that I had no idea existed.
Our process, I use a sort of collaborative process in filmmaking where I talk with folks, people who speak with me on camera. I bring the footage back and ask them to participate in a review because there's a lot of subjectivity in editing. And it's important that particularly when we're talking about folks who are chronically like misrepresented or marginalized or left out of representation, you want to make sure that those folks are really central in telling you, yes, this is the correct representation, right? This gets to our sort of like, who gets to tell the story? And so the folks in that clip saw a very early review screening before we started polishing, which was our way of saying, did we get this right? Is this accurate? And that's a process we will do with the feature. It's a process I do with all my work. And it was fun to have folks come back. And the most common comment wasn't a sort of like, oh no, that doesn't reflect me authentically. It was, oh my God, I can't wait to meet the Jedi ponies. Oh my God, I want to hang out with Maggie in her basement, like archives. So a lot of it was, I want to meet these women, like these other women I'm seeing in the film with me. I can't wait to spend time with them.
Well, that's exactly. It's like, oh, I know that. I know them. I think I've been their friend my whole life. I just didn't know it.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. And I will say, we were in New York last month, and we were with Empire Temple of Saber Guild in Madison Square Park, where we got this like really lovely footage of, sort of sparring and talked with them about sabering. And it was a very multi-generational group of women. And there was one 13-year-old in the group. And so I'd ask the question, how many of you have felt sort of stereotyped or bullied for being a fangirl? And everyone but the 13-year-old raised their hand. Wow. And the 13-year-old looked around at them all and said, no, because of you and what you went through, I'm not having that experience.
Yeah, I don't accept when I see that happening. It's just no. I'm like, Mama fangirl's coming.
But it's so encouraging to think about this generation coming up where this is not just like okay, but that you're actually entitled to it. That it's like, no, this is mine. Like other folks can come to it and share it. I also love this idea that like boys get to have these strong like heroines. Mm-hmm. And these role models are available to them.
Well, what I think is really sweet is when fathers are excited about the strong females because they have daughters. Yeah. And that like makes me tear up.
From our Kickstarter campaign, we had a perk that was getting your name and the thank you in the end credits. And the number of fathers that came to us and asked, could I put my daughter's name in instead of mine? With like, tears and tears and tears. And this way they're just like, all right, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
that's
well,
what we need.
I know we keep talking about this footage. I know our listeners may be curious where they can find this.
Eventually.
Yes. We packaged it just for this audience, but have every intention of releasing it. And maybe we'll let Fangirls Going Rogue know when it's going to be coming out first, so you could help us kind of launch it.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
And in fact, we're going to play a bit of it right now, just so you can get a feel of the Looking for Leia documentary.
I came to America at the age of 9. It was a struggle for me. Learning a new language, new people, different kids, and the kids were a little bit brutal back then. When I first started watching Star Wars, that was that place that I could go to. You could look different, you could be different, you can sound different. That started my passion for Star Wars, just being able to be different, and it's okay.
A lot of strong female characters exist, and a lot of beautiful princess characters exist. And Leia is that intersection. Leia is the and character, especially growing up in the 80s and early 90s, you got one or the other. You got Ripley or you got Ariel. Like you didn't get both.
Sometimes we have to remind people that we have to demand respect. It's great and glorious to be able to watch it develop. Women's podcasts, women as judges in costuming competitions, women's businesses, whatever they're bringing to fandom. As we are going forward, the fans are now taking place in the industry.
I had been at Playfair in New York. I had an Asian mother come up to me with her young daughter, and she stopped me and she thanked me for being a Jedi and for being Asian. She, growing up, had loved the Star Wars movies, and she had never seen an Asian Jedi. And the fact that we had been performing with Saber Guild and I had actually led one of the Padawan Training Institute sessions, her daughter got to watch an Asian female Jedi lead a class. And she was like, that was so influential to me and my daughter. So she just thanked me, and it meant a lot.
It's been nice to find that community. There's a whole generation of us that have grown up growing into these spaces and not just having the community, but feeling entitled to the community.
It's an escapism because anything can exist.
I always try to say Star Wars is for everyone. It really is. Star Wars is for everyone.
Women aren't new to fandom. We have this incredible history. We've been here from the very beginning. It's just taken 40 years for us to gain enough visibility that people are now listening to our stories.
She's a hero. Remember that. You can be a hero too.
So as far as the convention goes itself, what has been your one favorite moment? If there's if you have to pick one, we do this all the time. And no Teresa cheating, because I cheat all the time.
What is my one favorite moment? I'm horrible with these because I'm the kind of person that whatever I'm doing, at Disneyland, whatever ride I'm on, in the moment, I'm like, this is my favorite ride. Yeah. I do think that it was probably getting to see this group of women and other folks in our panel having this wonderful emotional reaction to the footage.
Well, I think what was really cool about that too is there was a lot of people in the room that didn't know what Looking for Leia was, but they saw Leia, so they came. And then we saw the footage and they were like, oh, and they were immediately engaged. Mm-hmm. And I think that was super wonderful, just getting to feel that in the room, which you could feel it. You can feel it.
And I think, on Twitter and when I see folks reacting to it, often we're referencing crying, right? And it's happy crying. It's not like tragic crying. But, I'm, without Barbara Waltering these interviews at all, at some point, a lot, if not most of the folks that we talk to tear up. And almost always it is in a moment of recalling a story in which a person was seen or recognized or validated or mirrored. And those tears end up being kind of a surprise because we're like, well, why am I having so much feels about this thing? And I think it speaks to the power of women's isolation and fandom and what it means when we actually get to see each other and connect. And to speak how meaningful that is actually is incredibly emotional and significant.
I think you had one of those moments yesterday interviewing the My Little Pony Jedi.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we got to interview My Little Pony Jedi, which you'll hear on this episode a little later. And at one point they were saying how they discovered or how they decided to do My Little Pony mashup. And one of the things was they saw this Jedi Tink that was a mashup between Disney and Star Wars at Star Wars Celebration. And I was like, that was me. And it was like full circle, everything coming around. Like how small, it's like a small world. Fandom, it's amazing. So yeah, we were like, oh, we gotta get a picture. Oh.
Yeah, so since we're talking about them, do you guys have a favorite moment from Geek Girl Con so far?
Well, that was my favorite. So yeah.
I think my favorite was actually interviewing the My Little Pony Jedi, and on top of that, like becoming fast friends with them because I was wearing all of my Little Pony gear and everything. I was ready. I had like my denim Her Universe jacket on for the Star Wars, and then I had my Little Pony leggings, and I was so ready for it. And getting to meet them because I was nervous, and Tricia walked me over, and it was just like this whole thing. And then really talking to them and becoming friends with them to the point that I may be joining the herd. So I'm kind of excited about that, to be a pony, even though it's like a Star Wars pony, but even better. So I'm really excited about that. So we're trying to figure
mashup. So far for me, I did the Heroine's Journey panel, and it's with Jennifer Stoller, who was a founder of this convention. And I read her book years ago. This is when I was learning to be a blogger and about my feminism and how we needed to talk about what storytelling was and what it could be and how it affects women. And so I'm sitting here, this is the fourth year, is sitting here realizing that I'm sitting next to like a woman who was my idol and taught me things. And she and I are having a conversation, and BJ's in this conversation, and just realizing that every day those Heroine's Journey posts at the blog, schools look those up, teachers ask for permission. Like that's like your moment where you're like, okay, there are people who are going to learn. Every once in a while I'll Skype with a classroom first, to do that, to talk about it. But, it's just kind of a reminder to sit with your idol and get to do that, talk about it.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
We got to interview Carolyn Coca in New York. I had a very similar situation where I was just like, I feel like I'm getting the best graduate class ever. Like I'm doing this interview, but I'm also I brought her book. It was all highlighted. Every single page.
That's amazing.
So let's talk about cosplay and fashion, because I know for some of us cosplay is a big deal for you. Like for me, it's more of fashion and sort of everyday wear. And Tricia, I know you like both of those things, but so I'll start off cosplay wise. My Little Pony Jedi were like the it thing. Fashion wise, though, I finally got my first piece of Catherine Olhofer's stuff, and it's Harry Potter, not Star Wars. Sorry, guys. Tricia didn't understand what it was. She didn't know. You guys all know this. She didn't understand what it was. I put on
why is there a bear on that sweater?
She's like, what? What is that animal? What's that from? Yeah, she says really quietly in my ear, is this Harry Potter? And I'm like, yes. It is. It's Hufflepuff. It's my house. What does that mean?
Hashtag Tricia doesn't know what that is.
Hashtag Tricia has no clue.
Now they're Instagramming.
You've been shamed by Star Wars authors.
Claudia Gray.
You're shamed
Yes.
Y'all don't at Tricia. Don't at her. She's doing great work within Star Wars.
I will read Harry Potter one day, I promise.
We cannot all be Polly fans.
It's almost more fun to tease you about it.
It is. So, okay, so I'll just leave it. I'll let it be my thing.
Yeah, so I got my first piece of Catherine Elhoffer's stuff, and let me just say I'm from Texas, okay? Seattle's cold to me. I don't know if it's cold to anybody else, but it's cold to me. And so I put that sweater on, and I was like, hey, I'm not cold anymore. This thing's awesome. And so it's really, and it was so cool to be wearing it and then to go to the fashion show wearing it, and everybody around us is going, oh my God, her stuff is so awesome. And I'm like, I'm wearing it. It was so cool. It was really cool.
We got to interview her at her booth, actually, and we'll be interviewing her in her studio in Los Angeles when we're down there with liningup.net filming The Last Jedi line. And listening to her talk about women's geek fashion. And she has just amazing things to say about the way that women use geek fashion, both as armor, as a way of being able to like flag pride and go out with this sort of, this is my identity that I'm wearing as a source of power. And also the way that we use it to identify with and project ourselves into the characteristics of our heroes.
You can make friends depending on what you decide to wear and who you meet.
Yeah. My one of my favorite shirts that I wore here, it's not a Star Wars shirt, is the Ask Me About My Feminist Agenda shirt, because I'm like, that's my Honey Badger shirt. Now, when people just like back off. They're like, oh, I'm not going to, and that's what I want them to do. It's a day when I don't want people to mess with me. But Leia, fierce, there's the Rey fierce one. You put it on and you can't not be fierce.
I feel this way about all my Rebel Identified stuff, right? Where I'm always just like, look, this is the team I'm on.
Exactly.
I'm out fighting.
Exactly.
This is what we're doing.
So what about you? What's your favorite thing that you've seen so far at Geek Girl Con?
Well, you know me, and I love Tangled. I love Disney. So, and there was a fabulous Rapunzel cosplayer at the cosplay contest.
She actually won something, right?
She won a prize. I think it was the best use of textiles.
She said you spent 100 hours embroidering that.
Holy buckets. Well, that's why. That's why. But she looked beautiful. She had her little Pascal. Well, after the cosplay contest, I happened to be walking toward the stairs, and sitting right next to the stairs were Rapunzel's mom and dad with a little lantern. So they looked perfect. They looked amazing. I mean, with the lantern there, I knew exactly who they were, and I was like, "Oh, can I get a picture?"
Let me add to this story.
Yes.
She's looking, and she's like walking, looking, and kind of turning back, and then walking, and I'm like, do you need a picture, Sarah? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, let's go.
So you're My Little Pony Jedi.
Yeah.
And I'm the Rapunzel. So yeah, we all get starstruck, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, what about you?
What for
cosplay that you've seen?
Or fashion?
Oh, the Snow or Alice in Wonderland and. What was
it? Was a Rapunzel
Jedi. Did you see them?
And the Rapunzel Jedi had a little BB-8 that was painted green.
And then she did. And then there was a Rey, Kylo, mom and dad, and they had a baby BB-8. And
BB-8.
Yeah, and you were trying to take a picture of her, and Daddy Kylo was rolling the baby to keep him quiet because it was the end of the day.
It was amazing.
That's commitment.
Yes. So let's move forward. We'll just talk about the con a little bit. I know you talked about the mission of Geek Girl Con a little bit ago, but as far as the atmosphere of the convention, and it's interesting because I haven't been here before. So this is my first time here. You've been here how many years now?
Tricia,
6.
Okay.
And this is you and me. This is our first time.
Right.
And you and I talked a little bit about this on Friday before the con started. And I was thinking about like what it was going to be like. And I will admit that I was kind of nervous going to a convention that was all women, because not just Star Wars, I know what that would be like, but all fandoms. And I didn't know if it was going to be this like really awkward, maybe kind of catty environment, or if it was going to, since I know there's a lot of feminism stuff here, and everybody who knows our show, you're the stronger of the feminists out of the three of us, and we're a little bit more on the relaxed side. And so I didn't know if it was going to be like all in your face, like men are terrible, like that kind of thing. And so
is that your feminist agenda?
That's not hers. That's not hers, but like that, but that is out there, and it's one of those things that kind of gets like feminism gets misconstrued as being something like that. And I'll admit I'll fall to those stereotypes in my head. And so I wasn't sure. And then I got there and I was like, this is not that at all. This is so welcoming
This is
and
like
inviting
the
and
circle tribe
loving,
you want, right?
you know, and it's like I was like, okay, I was way, way, way wrong. And I was glad to be proven wrong. And I was so impressed by how amazing I felt because I wasn't expecting it. And so for me, like that atmosphere, and I don't know how you felt before or like...
You know what? I didn't really know what to expect. I know I wasn't expecting quite what you were expecting. I mean, all conventions are fun in their own way. And like Richard and I have been to smaller conventions in Los Angeles. And so I find it a lot like some of the smaller conventions like Long Beach Comic-Con, where you can really get up close to the booths, talk to people, get to know people really well, make some connections. Like it's a great place to do that. And I really appreciate Geek Girl Con for that. And also being in Seattle. This is a beautiful city, and I just find it so, like, everyone's so chill and cool. It's easy to get around.
Well, I think you need to go make more connections.
I have to go. I have to film a panel. I got to do a filming panel. Go and film.
So Annalise, tell people where they can find you.
They can find us at on Twitter at Leia Fangirl Film. You can find us online www.lookingforleia.com or on Facebook facebook.com/lookingforleia. If you want to connect with me, I'm at Dr._Ophelian, but also just get to me through the film site. Please follow us on Twitter. We are kind of newer. We just started our Twitter this spring when we started filming, and so we love being able to connect with folks there. It's also where you will find out how to watch the footage that we premiered here at Geek Girl Con and where we're at with the production.
Well, thanks, Annalise.
Thank you all so much.
We'll see you later.
We'll look forward to it.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey there, Tricia, Teresa, and Sarah. This is longtime listener Joey Pittman. Just saying congratulations on 50 amazing episodes. You three just slay it every show. Great chemistry. Just a great team. Always a good show to listen to. So many favorite memories I have. A lot of great interviews, but it's hard to top the Dave Filoni show. So that was just amazing. So keep up the great work. Sandra's a boss on social media, so congratulations once again. And on a side note, I'm also really honored that you guys have me as a Facebook group administrator. So that's a great community to be a part of too. So here's to the next 50 episodes, and may the force be with you. Yep.
Well, Joey, thank you so much. That actually leads into what we're going to talk about, some of our favorite things about podcasting and doing Fangirls Going Rogue.
And celebrating 50 episodes.
Yes, absolutely. So we have kind of a long list here of some of our favorite interviews that we've done. Of course, Dave Filoni, because of hashtag Hot Callus.
Yes. Well, we have to pick our favorite, so we each get one.
Yeah, well, I'm taking Dave Filoni out of it because that's like
okay.
The pinnacle.
Since Joey picked it, we don't have to pick
it. Exactly. So let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna mush two together because you know how I do.
All right, fine, whatever.
So I got to do two really awesome interviews, and sadly, you girls weren't with me. But the first interview we did on a priority transmission with Bob Roth and Bill Motz from the Filmmaker Adventures was one of my favorite things that I got to do. We just had so much fun. And then Andrew Kishino, who was Saw in the Clone Wars, his interview was just so enlightening and interesting, and especially for someone that is not really active in Star Wars anymore, but is still a huge Star Wars fan, and you could hear it in the way that he was talking, and that was just so fun.
We get to talk to a lot of celebrities, and that's really cool. But for my favorite interview was the Hunt Girls on episode 34. Just a different generation. You know, they came in at Ahsoka. That's one of the things that we like to do is remind people that not everybody's comes in at the original trilogy, that not everybody's favorite is the prequel trilogies. And so that was a good reminder. And I'm going to cheat like Teresa because we have a priority transmission with David Collins, who was, we don't want to forget about those priority transmissions. That was one of our favorite discussions, talking about Disney and his nieces, and now he was going to be a dad, and now he is a dad, and all the things he had to look forward to, and music. obviously for Sarah to talk about that because he's so smart.
Great discussion there. And, you know, I really loved being able to interview Anna Graves, who is the voice of Satine. And that was episode 23. And my favorite thing about that was getting to ask her, what was her chemistry like with James Arnold Taylor in the room? Because if you watch those episodes, there's some chemistry there.
Yeah. Well, you know, and this isn't an interview, but it was one of my favorite moments was getting to meet Freddie Prinze Jr. and sit there, and he gave me a hug, and it was just like, it was so surreal. And I can't even, like, it's just like, yes.
How can you not say being in the elevator with Dave Filoni?
Well, that too. Basically, what has happened is Fangirls Going Rogue has allowed me to be around all these really cool people and
have a conversation with them, like conversation starter.
Yeah, and to not feel awkward and weird, and to not pull a Tricia and just kind of go like,
yeah, when she's in the room with Lawrence Kasdan.
Yes. Yeah, when Lawrence Kasdan comes in, I turn into Jello. So that was an awesome moment, but my favorite Fangirls Going Rogue moment, just remembering back, was Celebration Anaheim. And Tracy Canobio's like, do you want the question? Do you want the question? And then she's like, this is the last question. But I had been waiting, and meanwhile blacking out, because I'm like, I have the question, but I'm thinking, did somebody else ask the question?
Right, because you're so focused on what you want to say.
Get the question, and you're trying to not ask what somebody else asked. So I asked the question, and then Dave Filoni said, oh, that was a good question.
And you're like, yes,
like,
win.
Woo! And they all came out. Oh, and also saying it, Tricia Barr from Fangirls Going Rogue, and we got a woo!
There was like a pop in the room, which was awesome.
So we appreciate that.
That was really amazing.
Sarah?
Well, one of my favorite moments was actually, I guess, before I was on Fangirls Going Rogue, but just meeting you guys in person for the first time at Star Wars Weekends in 2014 was just amazing. Richard and I had just gotten off red-eye flight and got to the hotel, dropped our stuff, and went bam to the parks at like 7:30 a.m. And you guys were right there in the front entrance, and we're like, hey, everyone! Although, Teresa, you were like preoccupied because you had just lost your phone.
Yeah, I have this thing where I go into the Disney parks and then I lose my phone.
But you found it.
I get it back. See, here's the great thing about Disney. They always find your phone. I mean, not always, so don't come and...
Don't lose
it on purpose. But if you do... Also, I've lost sunglasses at a restaurant before, got those back. I'm very lucky.
But we did get to do a fangirl flail all together.
We did. That was our first... in person, but we had another really, really cool one at Celebration Anaheim, and I sort of decided to stand on a table and scream at everybody and be like,
the podcaster meetup.
Yeah, and be like, we're doing the fangirl flail! No!
My favorite, though, is Sarah trying to ask Dave Filoni on the Rebels red carpet if he fangirl flail. And he's like, no.
He's like, what's that?
No. One day we'll get him to do it.
Eventually I got to ask him a better question about is Ahsoka the wolf, and I guess she's not, but we're going to find out more.
Yes,
season
we are.
4.
Now I know you have another one of your favorite moments, and I think it's all of ours.
I think this is for everyone, and that's our Star Wars Celebration pajama parties / panels that we have. So it's just so fun to be in the same room together, all podcasting, and everyone comes to see us, and we get to see them and meet all of our listeners, all of our Yub Cubs.
All of
our Yub Cubs. Woo, Yub Cubs. So that's exciting. And
it's a really amazing feeling to think that we started this thing just because we wanted to talk about Star Wars, and then 2 years of being live in front of people, and it's standing room only, and people are sitting on the floor, and there's a bunch of little kids, and then there's
that's awesome.
There's 50-50 split between men and women, and it's just like, holy crap, what did we do?
Well, no, we can't even, we couldn't even acknowledge everybody who's said something or congratulated us or sent a voicemail in the last few days. There have been so many, they've been overwhelming. But we even have like friends in Claire Henry in across the pond who went to the Pozu event and looked awesome and amazing and left us a nice comment. And it's crazy. Like, we know people all over the world even.
Yeah. It's so exciting. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, speaking of some of those voicemails that we got, here's a voicemail from Kai Charles.
Hello, ladies. This is Kai, aka Yogi Kai. I just wanted to wish you the happiest of anniversaries. I can't believe you guys are at 50 already. I was so excited to discover you guys when you were on RFR years ago. It's like you were the Star Wars fangirls that I was looking for my whole life. So thank you for everything you do and for having me as a guest, and I'm looking forward to the next 50. Bye. May the Force be with you.
Boy, am I glad to hear your voice.
Okay, that just made me cry.
Yeah, I mean, it's when we first heard that one, I was about to lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kai was great. We had her on our last episode, and she's a great ambassador for Fangirls as well. If you don't follow her, she's at Yogi Kai on Twitter. So you need to, because she's awesome.
Shout it out to the social media from Teresa and Tricia and Sarah. Shout it out, fangirl shout outs.
Now, I know we have some other stuff. We have some comments and things from our social media, so we're going to kind of jump into those now.
So my favorite comment was from @2timesmum on Twitter. And she says, "Hello, Tricia, Teresa, Sarah, and Sandra. I just wanted to congratulate the entire team on your 50th episode. I've gotten to know Fangirls Going Rogue when your show was still on Rebel Force Radio. It was the first Star Wars fangirl podcast I heard, and I loved it right away. You make a great team together, and it's wonderful to hear your friendship and love for Star Wars shine through in each episode. It's not easy to pick one, but I guess my favorite moment must have been the live podcast I saw at Star Wars Celebration London. It was so much fun to see it live after all those episodes I listened to at home. Anyway, a big hooray to you all, and here's to many, many more. Greetings from Belgium."
More international.
Yeah.
All right, so here's Claire's. She was on our Facebook group. If you're not a part of it, you should be. She says, "Hi guys, it's your UK fangirl. A very happy 50th epiversary. I've been a fan of Star Wars since it was first shown 40 years ago, and Fangirls Going Rogue has brought a whole new dimension to my fandom and new friends. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Yub yub from across the pond."
Oh, and a picture.
Yes, it's a picture of
Sandra,
Patty, Meg.
Patty's husband, Meg. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to see, but yay, that's exciting. And I see Neil Lowry just wrote on our live, 3 shining stars of the Star Wars community you are. Oh,
that's so sweet. So thank you, everybody who gave us a voicemail or a message. We couldn't get to all of them, but we read them all, and we appreciate it. Because we need to talk a little bit about collecting and things that are coming.
Because you know what? We're at a convention.
Yes.
What do we do at conventions?
Buy stuff!
Spend money!
Yeah! My husband's watching this right now going,
well, first of all, let's talk about what's been coming up. So here we go. We have Cargo Cosmetics. So can we explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Cargo Cosmetics is a line that is coming out for The Last Jedi, and they are at Kohl's, so they're going to be at select Kohl's stores. And last year, or not last year, but Force Awakens, we had CoverGirl, and that was kind of But these cosmetics are going to be named with cool Star Wars names. They're going to be, like pigment. I forget everything that's coming in it, but the packaging is amazing.
Are there liners? Are there like eyeshadows?
I think there's like a palette.
Yeah,
a palette. Okay. Yeah. And so you're going to be able to find these at Kohl's, and I'm super excited.
You're pumped.
I'm pumped.
All right.
Pumped.
Exciting. What else? What else do we have coming up?
We have A Certain Point of View, the book with the anthology, I think, with 40 different stories, different authors. And I don't know, do you guys have one that of the stories you're excited for? Because we got all the cards dropped that kind of teased everything that was coming.
I think, is Claudia Gray in there? Yeah, I'm excited about her story because I just love how she writes characterizations. And I think she really gets that in a character.
Beth Revis's story. So I don't really know what it's going to be about, but it's Beth Revis. So I'm done. I'm sold.
That's
Give
it?
it to me.
You're
Give it
done?
to me. No, there's another one. It's Boba Fett. Boba Fett. I really want to read the Boba Fett story. We have our Jamberry nails on, and mine are Boba Fett. And I know, okay, Boba Fett, whatever, but I love him, and he's awesome, and he has Mando armor, so whatever.
So I think if you haven't read it, you need to read Leia, Princess of Alderaan, and we won't talk spoilers or anything like that.
Because I'm in the middle of it.
But definitely worth checking out some things that you would like to see in a book.
Yeah, I will say this. I think this is a really good, I don't know, of what Leia, Princess of Alderaan is. They're the Leia fangirls. I'm the Padme fangirl. I'm now a Leia fangirl because of this book. So that says a lot.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
Good stuff.
Well,
what's our favorite thing that we bought at Geek Girl Con? Do we want to say this?
Well, I mean, I've talked about my Hoffer sweater, but I want to talk about something else.
Okay.
There's a company called Winged Warrior, and she does art and some other things. And so I'm going to show it on our live feed right now. This is a little postcard size. She does have a poster size of this, and this is the art piece, and it says, "You're my only hope." And it's just got so many cool like little symbols and things like that. You can find her on Instagram and Twitter. She's at Winged Warrior. Her name is Chrissy. She's so super sweet and nice. And go follow her and pick up some of her art. It's just gorgeous. She does Disney stuff as well. And guys, there's an Ahsoka one coming, and I got to see the sketch of it. And I'm so excited. I'm really excited.
Awesome. Well, I know one of the things we wanted to do was stop at the Hoffer design booth. And so I am going to pre-order, because it wasn't available, but I'm going to pre-order the Snips cardigan hood, like wrap. Cardi cape, which is super cute. I got to try it on a sample. So that was fun. And so I have to pre-order that because that wasn't available for sale. But she had a lot of stuff in stock, including something that Tricia got.
I got the Ray cape or scavenger, whatever they call it. But
scavenger
there, that's beautiful. It's so soft. And it has pockets. Watch. Pockets. All right. So anyway, exciting things we got to talk about and look at and try on. It's awesome when you can try something on.
Yes.
You know if it looks good on you.
It really helps you decide what to get and what not to get.
Yeah. Like I tried on the Leia long line and I liked the idea of it. It just kept kind of falling off me. So I was like, I don't know how I would do this. And that one did have sizes. So I love the Snips one.
Well, the Snips, I figure, it doesn't have a snap or anything, but I could put a Fangirls Going Rogue button as a fastener or something. Yeah, exactly. So, woohoo.
Okay, let's jump into our next voicemail from Chickafant's dad.
Hey, Teresa, Tricia, and Sarah. This is Michael, Chickafant's dad, just calling in to say congratulations on reaching the 50th episode milestone. That's awesome for you ladies. It's been great to follow you along. So on behalf of myself, Michelle, Chickafant's mom, Chickafant itself, as well as Chickafant's brothers, Darth Magnus, and, Captain Mal, we wanted to say again, congratulations. It's been wonderful being with you since episode 1. It's been wonderful listening to the show. You guys, all you ladies do a wonderful job. And the family that you've created of fans and listeners is awesome. So it's great to be a part of that. So we will fangirl flail with you at any time. Continue the great success. We look forward to being a part of it and following along with you and being part of the upcovers. So again, congratulations. We look forward to so many great episodes ahead of you. And thanks again for all the work you do. You ladies are wonderful. Have a good one. Congratulations.
Sidious, Anakin, Luke and Leia, Qui-Gon Jinn, C.O. Bibble, Kylo Ren, Salacious Crumb, Bib Fortuna, Boba Fett, Amidala, Wicket, R2-D2, BB-8, I can barely keep it straight. It's a character discussion. It's the Fangirls on character. It's a character discussion.
So we're coming up to the Rebels season opener, and Amy Wishman-Nailin on Twitter, who we met at Celebration, she started the Rebels Photo Challenge. If you do hashtag Rebels Photo Challenge every day, you answer a question. So we need to catch up. I believe today's actually day 6. So we're going to go to day 7 even, because we wanted to answer that question too.
And we're going to cheat a little bit because you're supposed to respond with a photo or a GIF.
Yeah. But this is our GIF right here today.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to catch up a little bit.
I did that totally
wrong. All right. So number 1, first day would have been your favorite Ghost Crew character.
The Ghost.
The Ghost.
That counts as a character, right? The Falcon's a character?
Teresa thinking outside the box.
Okay, I'm going to go with Hera because she's the leader. She's the captain. I've always had a thing for captains. I don't care if they're male or female.
That was mine.
I'm sorry. You can take it too.
Well, I did already because I did do
but
that.
But why is your reason?
Well, because she's the boss and she's important to the alliance, and we know that. So, I feel like I can insert, and I like Canera. So she's half of that. So by liking Hera, I get to like Kanan as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good. All right.
All right. Number 2 is favorite side character.
Ooh.
Bindu.
Ahsoka.
Oh.
Are we going the same ones?
No.
Okay.
Hondo. I had to bring Hondo in.
Yay.
Yeah. Just because, he wants to be a pirate Jedi and all that kind of stuff. So
I just love the Bindu.
He is cool.
He's amazing.
So like the Force.
He is cool.
Awesome.
I agree. All right. So favorite returning Clone Wars character. Oh, well.
It's all right.
I guess, yes. Favorite returning Clone Wars character. So I guess I'll say Darth Vader.
Ooh.
But well, I guess he didn't.
He wasn't really.
Yeah. All right.
Does it have to be in the Clone Wars only?
You know what? I'll think about that. You guys go.
Does it have to be in the Clone Wars only?
It has to be a Clone Wars character. Yeah. Like Rex.
I have
Rex
one.
Or
that's garbage.
I want to say Obi-Wan. Because I love his voiceover at the very opening episode of Star Wars Rebels. It made me cry.
Okay. Well, I mean, Obi-Wan's in other stuff, though. He's not only in Clone Wars.
Right, but he was a main character in Clone Wars, so I'm counting that.
Okay, so then can I count
Ahsoka?
No.
No. Oh,
my love of
Maul?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Darth Maul.
Of course.
Darth Maul. Because he's basically the best. And like they can actually see me like they can actually see me talking about Darth Maul right now, and the look I get on my face, and I'm looking at myself like I have this giant smile. He has 2 hearts.
I'm picking Ahsoka. Yeah, I mean, because I remember just the moment we all knew she was back when she came down this, on the ghost and everything.
That was great.
So,
Amazing.
but now Teresa, this is what happens. So, 4's favorite bad guy.
Yeah.
So,
who are you going to pick as your favorite bad guy?
Thrawn.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because he's terrifying. See, Maul doesn't scare me. Maul's not like a scary bad guy to me. Thrawn is like, gives me like the chills down my spine. And every time I'm like, ugh.
I think it's partly the music.
Yeah, partly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Thrawn for me too. And that's because of his involvement with the Heir to the Empire.
Yeah,
all that
I think that's
Thrawn
kind of
trilogy.
the obvious choice.
Yes.
So,
you too? Yeah. Well, we just got to find cool GIFs of Thrawn. And
There we go. Okay, so number 5 is your favorite Ezra moment.
I think of that moment when he was training on the ghost. That was really early on in Rebels, and he was falling off, and he couldn't get it done. He wanted to know why Yoda said, do or do not, there is no try, and Kanan's like, I don't know why he says that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wow.
Mine's probably when he goes to Tatooine and his interactions with Chopper and him really getting into something that he didn't really know what was going on. And then when Obi-Wan basically says, you're leaving, and it's a very mature moment for Ezra where he has to check himself, that it's not all about him. He has that moment of like, I'm a teenager and I'm trying to be an adult, but at the same time, I know when I have to, I just can't do it.
Leave something to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My favorite moment is honestly when Ezra is slowly seduced by Darth Maul in the finale of season 2. Like, I think his character trajectory in that episode is fantastic.
Number 6, favorite Kanan moment. Oh, God. I mean, I think I know what mine is, but...
What is it?
Mine is, from the premiere of the whole entire show, when he's like, okay, I'm doing this, and he steps up like on that big box and he connects his lightsaber and he turns it on, and it's just like, oh my God, that's such a risk for you. It's such a risk that he took and made me very happy. Yeah.
I liked when he was training Sabine with the dark saber.
Oh, yeah.
That was one. That's like a really kind of, for him, he was in it, and it was a big moment for Sabine. But I felt, Freddie Prinze Jr. too, just the way he delivered it, and he's got his own connection to kind of martial arts and that kind of, it was perfect.
Yeah. And I think one of his big moments that I will enjoy is yet to come. And that's what we see in this trailer for episode 4, where he's talking to Hera and they're having kind of an argument over their Canera status and what's going on there. So I think we're going to see some stuff yet to come that I'm excited for.
And the last one, number 7, our favorite Hera moment. So, I mean...
Thinking.
Well, there's some beautiful ones. Like
you know what I love when she's flying. She gets to fly the A-wing?
The B-wing.
The B-wing on that planet with Quarry.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. And the music there is amazing.
Okay, so mine is when she goes on full-on, Mama, don't mess with my droid. And she gets pissed. And she's like, oh, no, that's not happening. And the look on her face, I was just like, yes.
One of my favorites is her talking to Mon Mothma, just that close moment.
Yes.
And the season 3 special, you get to see them talk about how important that was to establish that and to see Mon Mothma in a different setting. But then you see kind of what happens to them, how their relationship might have kicked off. So there was just a really cool moment. Make sure you guys watch the season 3 extras. So cool stuff.
So if you want to get caught up with us, you can go to Twitter and or Instagram and go to #RebelsPhotoChallenge and you can catch up. And we're going to jump into another voicemail from the everyday fangirl, Patty Hammond.
Hello, it's Patty Hammond, the everyday fangirl, and I wanted to wish Sarah, Teresa, and Tricia, and of course, Sandra, congratulations on 50 episodes and of course a wonderful fangirl community. I really, really appreciate being part of your group. Yub, yub.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate everybody that was actually watching this live episode. And for all of you that are listening, thank you so much for supporting the show, downloading the show. And we're going to get into why it's important to do reviews. But I just kind of want to say, like, if you are listening to this and you haven't posted a review on your favorite podcatcher, we need you guys to do that because that actually helps us get more listeners and then more Yub Cubs and 50 more episodes and on. So visit us over at fangirlsgoingrogue.com. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. We're at FG Going Rogue. Tricia is at Fangirl Cantina. Sarah is at Jedi Tink. I am at Ice Cold Penguin, and Sandra, our social media manager, is at Geek Chic 9.
You can contact us on email, contact@fangirlsgoingrogue.com. Always on Tumblr. Things are happening. fangirlsgoingrogue.tumblr.com. And Facebook, just type Fangirls Going Rogue and we'll pop up.
Also on Facebook, we have our lovely Fangirls Going Rogue Facebook group, which has really formed a great community there. It's family friendly. So if you want to find that, just go to Facebook and search Fangirls Going Rogue group. You can request to join because it is a closed group for all of our safety and happiness. And you can answer those 2 questions. If you don't answer the questions, we don't let you in. So know that. All right, and also this week you guys left us tons of voicemail, which you can hear on our show, and they're amazing. If you want to leave a voicemail, maybe ask us a question, maybe start a conversation, you can do that. We are 33121 Ewoks. And you can go to our YouTube channel too, where we're going to post some videos from Geek Girl Con, and you can also see all of our episodes there. You can't see us all the time, but you will be able to hear us for those who like YouTube better.
Absolutely.
Please go to iTunes and leave us a positive 5-star review. We need your reviews so more people can find us.
Yeah, and it's not just the star part. We need you guys to actually write like a review so that people know what they're listening to. Tell them your favorite moments, like things you love about the show and the community, stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, Yub Cubs. Until next time. Da 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 da.
Yub. Yub!
We did it together!
Hi, Teresa, Tricia, Sarah, and Sandra of Fangirls Going Rogue. Ding here, wishing you congratulations on 50 great episodes. And thank you for being trailblazers for female voices in podcasting. I am going to sing you the chorus of Rebel Girl to celebrate. gonna be your time. Breaking through. Breaking through. Breaking through, yeah.
Okay, are y'all ready for this?
Yes.
Everybody ready?
Yes.
Everybody ready?
Teresa, don't mess it up.
We're all in the same room. Oh.
Thanks. Thank you.
That was a nicer way of saying what you were thinking, I'm sure.
Ready?
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so for our live audience, I think we're gonna pause here. We'll let this run.
Well, we can talk to them. I want to say that.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and we should. Are y'all hot?
Oh yeah, we can turn that back on.
We'll turn that on just a little bit, but so we'll vamp.
We'll vamp. Okay.
Vamping.
Cool.
Vamping.
Yeah, loving this discussion. I want to say that Mom, she's watching. Both our moms are watching, and Mom says that she's wearing her Fangirls Going Rogue t-shirt as she's watching.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
Yay.
Who
and
else?
Then Jennifer Sandin says, that's me wearing all my Rebel shirts to work. It's who I am. Aww. Lori Moya loving this discussion. Cool. So do you guys have any questions? Oh, that feels so much better.
Yeah.
Oof.
Air.